newest Planet of the Apes movie is out in theaters this weekend. Should you go see it? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, Kernels, to another review. Last night I got the privilege to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, an early access screening actually, where they gave us these posters, which we've seen before, but it's kind of cool that they, gave these out to everybody there. So real quick before we dive into this review, if you are new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss any other reactions or reviews like this one. And let's dive in. The movie revolves around this ape named Noah, who is part of this clan called the Eagle Clan. They're not really, it's a group of, I would say no more than 100 apes. I don't even know if it's that much, but they kind of live in the woods, kind of secluded off from everything. When his village gets attacked from these other apes who kind of believe that all apes should be serving under this one guy, they kill a lot of the apes, but then they mostly just enslave a lot of them and force them to do, work for this new lord that they have. Until Noah, he actually survives getting killed and, sets off on a journey to go and rescue his family, his clan, and to also, find out, what exactly is going on and who this guy is. So the first thing that I immediately thought about when this movie ended was just how much I cared about Noah and his journey from becoming just an ape in his society to becoming a leader, and then also just the journey that he goes on. He learns about humans, he learns about Caesar, he learns about just he even has some of his own self-discoveries, like protecting humans, but not too much to the point where things go back to the way it was. Very similar to Caesar in that way, where he wants them to be equal, but not put apes back in cages. There's also this girl named May. So it's important to know that, how in the trilogy from the 2010s, apes are more of the rare species here. Well, in this movie, the humans are a very rare species to find. So much in fact that they hide in bunkers and stuff like that. But you meet this girl named May, who she isn't necessarily a bad person, but she does make choices that are sometimes questionable. For example, at the very end of the movie, she floods the one vault to make sure that apes cannot take over humans entirely, which I believe Noah was okay with, but at the same time he wants to make sure that she doesn't plan on just trying to eradicate apes as a whole, because after all, she does deliver this line of oh well, this was a human settlement, humans built this thing, and kind of downing the apes. And it's just kind of cool to see those two interact on screen, because he does care for her, but at the same time it's let's make sure we're kind of on the same page. They kept referencing so the clan that Noah is from, they're known for being able to train birds, and whatever, whether it's hunting or just maybe scouting or whatever it may be, they use that as part of their way of life. In the whole movie, when Noah's father dies, he had this one bird who he's kind of scared of at first, but by the end of the movie, he actually ends up I don't want to say adopting, but it basically comes to him and becomes his own bird. And you'll see in some of the promotional shots too, it even sits on his arm. It's pretty cool because it's actually the way that they defeat the final ape in this movie. Proximus, he basically survives the flood of this of his camp that he has, but the bird, he basically they all call the birds, their whole clan does this little song, and they all call the birds to attack on Proximus, and it's pretty cool. One of the things that you probably heard me mention was the goals in this movie change very not fast, but in a good way. At first the goal is, okay, Noah just wants to get back his clan and his family. But then it also turns into making sure that Proximus does not get inside that vault, because if he does, then the apes will eradicate humans altogether. And Noah doesn't want that either. He wants apes and humans to coexist. not putting apes in cages, but also not like, you know, completely killing off humans either. There is this scene before they blow everything up at the camp to flood the vault, where they actually find a secret entrance into the vault through one of the windows, and they like get to explore the vault and just see things, and it's actually pretty cool. Like there's like old like human stuff, they find guns and, you know, all of this stuff, but for the most part they just kind of leave it and kind of collectively decide, hey, you know, no one should have this stuff, especially not apes, you know, to take over humans. But it's interesting because Caesar and his friends, or not Caesar, Noah and his friends, they find this classroom and they like learn like how apes used to be treated. That was pretty cool scene. There's also this, I want to say, orangutan named Raka, and he's kind of with Noah throughout the whole movie, but there's a point where they get captured by Proximus and basically ends up sacrificing himself on the bridge, so that Noah and May can live. The next thing I will say is that this movie, quite honestly, I think it has the best visual effects and CGI out of all of the Planet of the Apes movies. There were many times where I was like, wow, like this looks real. And there's a lot of moments where, like, you know, sometimes when you see like apes, like the CGI apes and humans on screen, it's like, does that look that good? No, every moment looks very good. And it all looks it looks real. It looks like they are, you know, actually standing next to each other, like they're in the same room or outside. And it all visually looks really good. So at the very, very end of the movie, you get to see that there are more humans. So May, she found like this hard drive and she takes it out to this wasteland way far from the apes, where she finds a vault of humans that are still trying to, you know, find other humans. And when they put this hard drive in, it allows like an antenna to kind of contact other humans at a really far distance. I'm guessing they're setting up maybe a whole trilogy of these movies, which, by the way, I'm absolutely here for because I need more of this story, especially with Noah. First of all, there's a lot of really cool like swinging and fight scenes. Like it's not very like hand-to-hand combat kind of thing. It's like, you know, ape kind of fighting where they're like swing and they'll like knock someone down. But it was cool because Noah gets this like electricity like staff thing that he fixed up. Last thing I will mention is that there's just a lot of really good character moments in this movie where, like, even in my audience, some people were like, oh wow, like that actually happened, or they stuck with this. And it makes you want to cheer. It makes you want to cheer for the main character, and just kind of be on his side and just follow him through many more movies, which is, you know, again, I'm hoping we get an entire trilogy, you know, given to Noah and his journey, because I would love to see that. But overall, it comes in as, honestly, this might be controversial to say, I like it a little bit more than Dune 2. I don't know if objectively if it's a better movie, visually wise, story written wise, but as a personal preference, I prefer this just ever so slightly over Dune Part 2. And again, it makes it the movie of the year for me so far. We're not even halfway through the year yet, so that obviously could change in the coming months. But as of right now, this movie stands as my #1 for the year. Again, if you're on the fence about seeing this, please do not hesitate. Go see it in theaters. It's definitely worth seeing in IMAX if you can. But again, if you're a huge Planet of the Apes fan like I am, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy this. I certainly did. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews like this one. Until next time, guys. Peace.